Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, college football fans, college sports fans, golf fans, auto racing fans across the nation and around the world. This is Tim May with the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall. Clay, I don't know if you're my co-driver, co-pilot. I think we're going to keep this thing on the ground today.
No takeoff.
I've got a little auto racing thing I did with Larry Pegram, a longtime motorcycle, elite motorcycle racer with accomplishments as long as both of our arms and more. But he's racing this weekend up at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. They're pretty much their season opening auto racing weekend. IMSA weekend is what they're calling it. You know, I think Mike Shank's team's going to be up there in the GTP program, but Larry Pegram and his daughter, Riley, 21-year-old daughter, Riley, just got into racing cars about 5 years ago. They've been racing in a Honda Civic, but it's not your daddy's Honda Civic. It's not even your probably your son's Civic. I mean, this thing is a get up and go Civic for Honda, and had a nice little interview with him out at his shop out near Hebron, Ohio, him and his daughter. And I'm going to play that pretty much after you vacate the premises here. But I wanted to start off with the fact that, you know, we're also keeping our eye to a certain extent, I guess they're more of our ears, to the Senate hearing going on today about the Save College Athletics Act, or whatever you want to call it, the SCAC.
Protect college sport. Yeah.
Protect college athletics.
Tim, when does the talk turn into
Wait a minute. But we're also on the brink of the 51st Memorial Tournament. And you were out there this morning. As a matter of fact, you had a little bit of a tete-a-tete with Justin Thomas. You know, you were just kind of like there hanging out. But what was it you walked up to him and said while he was signing autographs? Wait a minute. Justin Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, devout is probably soft-selling the fact of what an Alabama fan Justin Thomas is, having gone to school there.
In every stinking sport, for sure. So I said, JT, I hear you have a little Mississippi State leaning here in the national championship race to get to Omaha. He goes, I don't know where you heard that.
Yeah.
But he, you know, some of these guys, they get bad rap. No, he doesn't. But people, he didn't sign enough. These guys and the actor Pratt, Chris, is it Chris?
Yeah.
Incredible. Just worked the ropes, probably signed 50 autographs.
More than that, probably.
As he was making his way from
point A to point B.
Down low at 9, walking up the hill to 10. And, you know, and kids are so appreciative. It makes their day. And JT's one of these guys, like so many others who haven't won this tournament, Jack's tournament, that means, I think, a lot in their resume.
That handshake, man.
If you can tame Muirfield Village, you've done something. And so he was extremely upbeat, ready to go, you know, and they play a pro-am, most of them almost every week. And that can be draining on a guy who's got to do the 4 rounds. But JT was very happy, in a great frame of mind, and I just had to kid him about the Tide.
Yeah. As you well know, ladies and gentlemen, the Super Regionals are this weekend. Ohio State's going to get there sooner rather than later, I do believe, again.
Justin Hare's done a nice job.
Absolutely.
It's been like a 16, 18 game turnaround from year one. And, gave him hell at the Big Ten tournament. And I think this guy can do it. He had a heck of a program at Campbell that went into Stark Vegas one year and scared the heck out of the Dogs.
Yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The NCAA baseball roundup with a hedge toward Mississippi State, brought to you by Clayton Hall. Clay, I'm going to let you go here in a little while because I know you got tree trouble you're trying to deal with in your backyard in terms of making sure the tree they're cutting down doesn't fall on your neighbor's house or your own house, right? But
that's exactly
I did want to follow up with this as a tease a second ago. The Senate hearing that's going on about this bill that's been proposed by Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell.
That is correct. Senators. Yep.
Senators.
Bipartisan.
Exactly. That's a big deal because how much bipartisan you get anymore?
None
from that group. But the bottom line is, you know, I'm still I'm not convinced this thing's going to like see the desk of Donald Trump to sign, because he's got to go through the House and the Senate, right?
Let's hope.
But what's your take from this? I mean, what was your overall take from a little bit of the testimony for one of another term, and maybe some of the deposition reading that you took?
Well,
I know you paid attention to what Nick Saban had to say, for example. I think his was by deposition, if I'm not mistaken. But
could be, yeah.
But go ahead. What was?
I think he was like, listen, you don't have to rearrange, redo, reinvent the wheel with college athletics. We can do that, but we need framework. We need something that can, administer the rules. They can be enforced. We're all on the same page, because as he says continually in this deposition, the system is badly broken, and it just has to. Because now we've even seen Kurt Signetti come out this week and said this cannot continue. And here's a guy who won the national championship. Bring order, bring some.
The main thing is they want to bring some type of like sensibility to the amount of money that's being spent on major college football, especially. I'm talking about not just to get players, but to keep players in terms of NIL money, because that's where most of the money, the lion's share. When you see somebody spending $40 or $50 million on a roster, then about 22 to 25 million of that are hookups, NIL hookups. Some good, some not so good, according to the rules. But this is tantamount to having you and me living in a neighborhood that has a HOA in it. We all agreed when we signed in to be part of that neighborhood that we would abide by the HOA. And then we get in there and the HOA is pretty much sticking to the rules. You've seen all those videos on YouTube where the man or woman comes around to enforce the rules and stuff. But you've determined after living there for 100 years that the rules need to be changed, and they need to be brought up to code, meaning modern specifications. But you as a group of property owners, 150 property owners, can't get together in a town hall meeting and do it yourself, which is what the HOA was, which is what you signed into to be part of in the first place, to abide by the rules and knowing your neighbor was going to be held to the same rules. The problem was the HOA rules didn't change with time like they should have, as fast as they should have. And then some other things superseded it. And then players got rights they never had before, meaning the ability to go out and do commercials and or whatever you call it now, the collectives and stuff, but able to look at a lot of money. Then came along a ruling by the Supreme Court, which opened the way for or forced schools to start paying their players out of a $20.5 million pool, each school, a certain amount of money, which can be divvied up in like 3 or 4 sports. And Ohio State is probably spending $18 million of that on its football team, probably $2.5 million or $3 million on its basketball team, maybe more than that. And
they said
women's volleyball. What's the other sport? I can't remember the other sport. But the bottom line is they have the NCAA. These guys are all members of the NCAA, and they can't have their own big, grandiose, constitutional convention and hammer things out and then say, you're going to abide by this or you're going to get kicked out.
Right.
They can't, they're relying on somebody else. They're relying on a policeman to come in and bring the peace, which is Congress, Senate, the Senate and the House, Congress coming in with an endorsement of Donald Trump, the president, to do what they can't get together and do, which is, in my opinion, speaks so poorly about the NCAA member institutions.
I was just about to say.
So this is really funny. This is probably going to happen, but I saw somebody from the West Coast was, I think, Ross Dellinger, however you pronounce his name, or someone else quoted today, is talking about, you know what? We need to kind of get to that point to where the players are considered employees and would have collective bargaining, because the players are sort of being left out of this, even though piecemeal, there's this little kind of like They've got a couple of players who are going to testify. But the bottom line is they need to be involved in this process in some form or fashion, or at least their representatives should be.
There was one player.
But there's one, yeah. And but the bottom line is they want to get control back as close as they can have it before 2020 is kind of what they're going back to. There's no going back from paying players and players being part of NIL situations.
They want to turn back the clock
no,
6 years?
No, they want to get it back closer to that.
Got it.
But the only way you do that, the only way you corral, the only way you corral the wild horses is to put up a corral. And the corral is also known as contracts, known as employment agreements.
And they just can't.
They can't get over that hump.
No, they can't.
Because, that does bring a lot into play. But, there's a lot into play now. Man, these players, we haven't heard a disaster story yet, a nightmare story yet about not paying your income taxes. We've seen some scenarios that have been put forth that could happen.
Right.
But we haven't heard any nightmares yet about the IRS coming knocking on your door because you're getting 1099 in essence 1099 forms for NIL and this revenue sharing. But if people are employees, you have control over an employee. Hey, remember George Steinbrenner? He didn't allow facial hair.
Right.
Okay, but you know what? You could grow it, but then you'd go play for another team if they'd have you.
That's true.
Or if they would trade you.
True that.
Bottom line is there's no guarantee about this that you should have the right to play college football or college basketball. It is an opportunity. And, but it's like when you go to somebody else's house, you're expected. Like if you go to a formal restaurant, you're expected to wear maybe a coat and tie.
Yeah.
If you go to Sonic Drive-In, you can do it in your car.
Yeah.
Everybody has their rules and in all in between. But the point is, nobody wants to enforce the rules that are on the book. Keep going back. That's what Ryan Day said when I asked him, remember back in the spring. One thing you could change immediately, it would be enforce the rules they've already got.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to live by them. They want Uncle Sam looking over their shoulder. Dude, do you really want Uncle Sam looking over your shoulder?
It's like
who's very kin to Uncle IRS.
Right.
Do you really want Uncle Sam looking over your shoulder?
Sometimes it's just like all of society. I've heard a million people say, well, we've gotten soft. Well, we have. We're there's no more black and white. Everything's gray.
Yeah, but this is more like along the lines of greed. I mean, this is more along the lines. We have the ability to go out and pay players $50, $60 million to be on our football team. And that team only has the ability to go out and pay $10 million or less, programs. It's more like a greed thing. It's more like a pride thing. It's more like I've got the biggest house on the block. Come play in my backyard and make it bigger. It's more of that aspect of things.
All right.
And that's what's too bad that they can't just get together.
It's a shame.
It'd be like, it'd be like all kinds. I mean, you could draw all kinds of analogies to current sports and throw them in there. But the bottom line is maybe this will help them get together. I'm glad I'm nearing the end of my rope as opposed to the beginning, because this is just a real cluster right now, the way things are going on. And yet the football's never been better. Major college football, is, my opinion, has never been better.
I heard it several times on the radio this morning. Just the games are elite. That the players are elite.
The coaching's elite.
The coaching is elite.
But here's the thing: the current system, what it did do is it allowed Indiana and Kurt Cignetti running the show, a guy who'd never been in major college football before, to come in and flip Indiana immediately.
Yeah.
Because remember, he played in the playoffs his first year.
That's right.
And then won it all last year. A team that had the worst winning percentage in major college football history has won, got to the playoffs the year before, lost 2 games, won it all this past season, went undefeated. Am I correct about that?
Miraculous.
Yeah.
Miraculous.
Yeah, went 16-0 or whatever it was. And that's crazy when you think about it. So that's what can be done if you got your act together. But even he knows this is unsustainable from a standpoint. Where do you start telling players, you know what, we can't pay you that much. You need to go to plan C. Well, and the thing about it is, if the big time powers start saying that, it changes everything. But they're not going to do that.
Well, and some of the principals in this negotiation, and Notre Dame athletic director Gordon Gee's been a part of this. Pac-12 commissioners have been a part of this. They think with legislation, even the Olympic sports can be saved because they're not at this rate. They're not going to survive.
Right.
The field hockeys, the lacrosses, the sports that have grown and have some prestige and have notoriety and now have a national TV contract. But there's not enough to go around because football is going to get it all. So.
Right. And yet you saw Arkansas whacked its tennis program, a month and a half ago. Now its tennis program is back because what they found out was when they put it out there, hey, we need cash, they got it.
They responded.
Now, the problem with that is, what if 4 or 5 years from now, the donors who stepped up to save it and they still haven't won a national championship, or are they going to be as excited about it? But here's the thing. There's got to be some kind of like control of some sort, some kind of a meeting of the minds on, well, wait a minute, if a football team is taking more than the lion's share of the revenue sharing part of it, which is coming from the school,
right,
and then is getting all of this NIL money on top of it, well, how about football not taking as much of the revenue sharing aspect so you can keep some of these sports going? Now, with all that said, there's no excuse for a Big Ten athletic program or an SEC athletic program not to be able to fund its sports. In the SEC, I mean, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, they only have like 19 or 20 varsity sports.
Yeah.
Ohio State's got like 36.
Correct.
So
half.
We're talking about apples and mangoes. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
I like both.
Yeah, I like both too. But but the thing is, that's why it's so hard for them to all get their minds together and wrap their minds around the real problem, which always comes back to funding. You saw where Utah now is what private equity firm had stepped up to help Utah through his troubles. I was warning people months ago.
Yeah.
That's way too easy money.
That's
10. You think they're there. The private equity firm, the first thing and last thing going out the door they're going to take care of is their nut. Yeah. What did they put into it and what did they get out of it? And if they're not getting out of it what they want, they're going to start whacking people.
Sure.
And it looks like that's what's going on at Utah to a certain extent. And nobody gives you a number with an M that starts with the millions and doesn't want some kind of control over it. Agreed?
Amen, brother.
All right, that's it. That's enough of a sermon. We've talked about that 10 million times, but it's just interesting that we think we're on the cusp of something big, and I don't know if they can get there with something that's going to please everybody please enough people to get it signed into law. And then what's that going to look like? Now, when you break a rule, you're breaking a law, basically.
Right. It's
not an NCAA I don't think you want that. I just don't think you want that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
can I interject? One thing about Upper Arlington lacrosse and the passing of Teddy Wolford, that there will be a almost like visitation hours at the stadium at Upper Arlington on Monday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's not a service. It's a chance for people to get together, and his wife, Vicky, will be there. And people, you talk about 35 players a year that he's touched over 25 years. And my sons will be there. And so it's a chance to just remember him and have that moment perhaps with his family.
Yeah.
His brother preceded him, who was also a lacrosse dynamo, but just wanted to throw that out. And
it's more like in terms of funeral things, more like a viewing or whatever, but where people can gather whom he influenced and just reminisce a little bit, because like you said, the actual funeral is going to be more of a private affair.
That's correct.
And too bad. I mean, go back and watch our show from Monday of this week.
Appreciate you doing
because
all
Clay
of
Hall,
that.
did had a hell of a moment there, and especially an interview with Kyle Olson. Do I have his name
Olson.
right? Yeah, the current
one of the
UA soccer or lacrosse coach.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I get those two Nouveau Sports mixed up.
But the niche is getting bigger.
What Ted Walford did for just lacrosse in Central Ohio, just making it big.
Yeah, he
I
did.
mean,
and
23 times you play for the Division I championship and you win 16 of them out of 25 years as a head coach. That's ungodly. I mean, it's crazy.
And he would take, he mentored them, but he marketed them.
Oh yeah.
He took them on the road, and you play these summer camps, and a lot of this now has evolved into club. And
sure.
And he was very much, you're going to play for the high school. This is a public deal here. If you want to play that on the side, I'd rather you not, but it wasn't as developed then. And he could take every good player and then mold them. And some of those trips, just the memories of those days. And I'll never forget Judd Hall throwing up in the goals 100 degrees on the turf at UMBC. And he's waiting out. I am not coming out. Get out of here. Because he probably saw the assistants there too, looking at him. So anyway, it just those development and nurturing and caring about those kids. So at any rate,
there you go, ladies and gentlemen, Clay Hall, the incomparable Clay Hall. Clay, you know what I'm going to do?
What's sir?
I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to get into this.
Go.
Larry Pegram, Riley Pegram, sort of like tour their garage interview, because I like to promote auto racing when I can, and it's the Tim May show, so I can do it anytime I want.
One question: how long has his daughter been sort of competitive?
She's we answered that in the interview, but excellent. 5 years she's been driving cars. She rode bikes, as you could imagine. I'm talking about motorcycles,
right?
As a youth, but kind of like grew out of it, got into high school soccer and things like that, and then grew out of that. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden she started driving go-karts. But we're not talking about your go-kart you ride around your backyard. We're talking about shifter carts and things like that, and and found herself to be pretty damn good at it. That's where most, like Graham Rahal, most drivers, Max Verstappen, right on down the line, Alex Palou, they start in a go-kart.
Okay.
And because the go-kart, it ain't your daddy's go-kart. This is, big time racing, and toured around for a while. And then Larry put together this deal with Honda where they're driving this, man, I've got video of this vehicle they drive. They're going to be driving at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course this weekend again. But if you've got video shot of the one that crashed at Daytona during the 24 Hours of Daytona weekend back in, when was that? Late January. Mm-hmm. It's still sitting there because you never know what parts you can get off of these things, right? Auto racing is not for the faint of heart, and it's not for the small of pocketbooks. And
I would love to see Tim May in a go-kart.
Dude, I've done that.
I love that.
I've gotten to drive a few things in my life, and it told me that I was not. God did not anoint me with great talent. The great talent is coming up to a left-hand turn, and and deciding you can go through there faster than the guy next to you, and come out on the other end like they do at Indy for 200 laps.
200.
I mean, I'll never forget driving a race car at a sports car course. It was a sports Renault, and it would do like probably 115 down the back straightaway. It was open cockpit, closed fairings over the wheels, kind of cool looking little car for what, as little as fast as it went. But John Fergus, a longtime GT driver, he gave me some pointers, and he goes, Tim, in third gear, you ought to be able to go down the home straightaway there and go under the bridge without lifting, because you're pretty much meeting the max revs in third gear because you're kind of going up a slight incline. Mm-hmm. And he goes, if anything, you want to reach over with your left foot, just tap the brake so it sets your front end down. So it'll grip, it'll grab. You don't want to hit your brake, just tap it. And during one of the practice sessions, I finally did it.
Nice.
And I almost had to pull over because literally, what a moment. I mean, just of euphoria. Like,
really?
Are you kidding me? I just did that and it stuck, Like a pro. Yeah. And I went back around and did it a few more times. And of course, in the race, I got knocked off in the keyhole turn. People who go to Mid-Ohio know where that is.
Right.
And finished way last. This guy just came over and shoved me right off the track. And
I wanted you to get out. Slam down the helmet.
I think I started 8th because I was on the outside, and finished 14th or whatever it was. But because there's no making up ground with those cars. Right. I got all kinds of stories from just that one weekend that were crazy, including interaction with the late, great Jim Truman, who was trying to show me how to go around the track. It was pretty funny. But I'll do that some other time.
Good stuff.
But anyway, Clay, thanks for joining me again. Go take care of that tree, man.
Yes, sir. We got.
Is this the family tree?
Well, man, we got a lot going on.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So we will get that taken care of. And that guy shimmied up that tree, and I came home before he got in. He said, "This thing is rotten," and I said, "Tell my wife that," because we went back and forth. I don't want to lose that tree, and I said, "I get it, I really do. It's the centerpiece." But that thing is going to collapse.
Nice hardwood. What is it?
Oh, yeah. It's a beech tree.
Beech tree. Yeah, they rot from the inside out.
Bingo. And the guy, he's like, "This thing is hollow."
Yeah.
I said, "All right, good." I feel better that I didn't take that away from her. So
there you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the great Clay Hall. Look in the camera there and say goodbye.
All right. See you next time.
I always enjoy having Clay around, as you well know. And he's done yeoman's work this week. I did a little yeoman's work today. I went out and interviewed Larry Pegram, a blast from the past for me. I remember did a few stories on him way back in the day when he was, he's still a big time motorcycle racer. In fact, he just finished third in a race up at Road America over this past weekend, but he's also taken into driving a race car with his daughter. You know how that goes. He's a team type of adventures where you drive for a while, then you jump out and the other driver jumps in, and they occasionally have a third driver on long races. But I went out and basically took a tour of his auto racing segment of his expansive garage out near Hebron, Ohio, and it was very interesting from the standpoint of kind of getting to know Larry a little bit better, getting to know his daughter for sure. Who is up and coming, Riley. I think she's 21 years old. She's been driving race cars, started out in go-karts or carts. Don't mistake them for the little carts you see around the neighborhood, racing carts. Back when she was 16 years old, now she's a grizzled veteran at 21, but got into car racing about 2 or 3 years ago. And they race as part of the IMSA series. And they'll be at, like I said, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course this weekend, and taking part in a 4-hour race for their particular specialty. As I think the GT cars, the GT cars will be racing also there. And of course, Mike Shank, who's right down the road, whose HQ is right down the road from Larry Pegram's place. Mike Shank will be there. Mike Shank's team will be there, I do believe, racing. Of course, Mike Shank's team on the IndyCar side just won its second Indianapolis 500 about 9 days ago. They're still riding on cloud 9, cloud 10. They, of course, have won the 24 Hours of Daytona, which is for the GTP class. I mean, big time team. But Larry Pegram and his daughter, Riley, teaming up. And, you'll hear me, we'll broach all that, including what a thrill it is to be doing something with your daughter. It's kind of cool. But without further ado, let's get to a little bit of a cascade of video I did with him out at his shop. First, him giving me a tour of the auto racing side. Pretty interesting right at the beginning when he describes one car and what it meant to him physically. You'll see, but then we'll get an interview with him and his daughter. And then at the end, them promoting, they have a YouTube channel is doing basically a reality series, as working on doing a reality series with them. And it's pretty interesting as they promote that. But without further ado, let's get to my tour and conversation with Larry Pegram. My goodness, Larry, how many cars are you guys running here?
Well, this is last year's car. We raced with Hyundai last year, and we're trying to sell that. You won't buy it?
No.
And then
I got a little cash.
This one with the thing holding the trunk up is the car that I crashed at Daytona. This is the Honda that we started with this year. We had a brake failure, and I crashed out at Daytona and broke my back. And then this is our current car, basically a replacement, which has the wrong wheels on the back of it because we're getting ready to load it the truck.
Sure.
It has to be lowered down. But yeah,
Sure.
This is our current
And what is this?
This is a Honda Civic Type R made into a race car.
Right.
So I mean, obviously, when you look inside of it, it looks like a Honda Civic from the outside, but from the inside, it looks a little bit different.
Yeah. Wow. What a steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. The cars are pretty. They're pretty.
Trick.
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah. Right, don't worry. Here's what place you're in. 88.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Hang on. I'm gonna turn this on.
How are you?
Here comes the co-driver.
This is. Here comes the boss.
I was going to say, you're doing this in relationship with Honda.
Yes.
And I don't know, just what class are you guys in, actually?
We race in the Michelin Pilot Challenge, which is kind of the feeder class for IMSA's endurance series. So we usually are the preemptive race to the big race, but for the Mid-Ohio weekend, we are the big race. So Sunday we race, it's at noon?
Noon to 4.
Noon to 4 on Sunday, so it's a 4-hour race.
Hey, Riley, I mean, first time I've met you, obviously, but number one, how excited are you to be racing in Mid-Ohio? But number two, to be doing it with your dad.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be racing with my dad this weekend, like at our home track with Honda this weekend. It's just, everything's lining up super perfect. My home track, I work up at Mid-Ohio actually as an instructor, so to be working and my coworkers are there supporting me, and to know that the whole school is there supporting me as well is just so huge. And,
Yeah, Mid-Ohio School. I've tested a few of those cars before. Real quick though, why did y'all decide to do this? I mean, obviously, I've known your dad for a long time. This is the first time we've seen each other in a long time.
Yeah.
But he rides those two-wheel things. Did he say if you want to race, you can do anything as long as it's got 4 wheels on it? What was the approach to that?
Yeah, basically. When I started racing when I was 16, it was pretty much immediately go-karts, and that was it. Like no bikes or anything. We ride for fun, but definitely no racing bikes. I think he's had a little bit too many injuries to allow that one. But then, sometimes you have a Daytona situation, and then you're like, well, maybe bikes are better. But
well, he just showed me his car over there that he crashed at that crashed at Daytona. I'm sure he didn't do it.
Yeah, never my fault. Never my fault.
And broke his back. What does that tell you? I mean, nothing's really safe when you're going over 100 miles an hour, is it?
No, not really. I mean, I wouldn't even say anything is safe at low speed. I mean, it's kind of just you do it for the love of it. I mean, anything can happen at any time. So.
Hey, I'm going to ask him in a second. I want to ask you. So I've gotten to drive a few race cars in the past, but nothing, super trick. But the point is, what fun it was. From at first, it was a thrill, and then it was fun. What do you get out of this more than anything else?
Just the love of the competition in the sport for what it is, I would say. Not necessarily obviously the speed is a plus, but I would just say the sport in general, just how challenging it is, and it's mentally and physically challenging as well. So I just enjoy that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, speed is relative, right? Because you're intimidated by it, then you kind of want the car to always go faster.
Yeah.
Am I right about that?
Yeah, and it gets to a point where it doesn't feel fast anymore.
Yes.
It's more just trying to be better than your competition.
Yeah.
A competitive thing.
And then the feel of the car, getting a feel for the tires, for you in the car, the car in the track. That's an ever ongoing process, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that to know that you can feel when a right front tire is losing a little bit? I mean, when did you know you had developed that kind of sense about things?
I feel like I've always had a really good feel for things in the car ever since I first started racing. Maybe even better than him, I would say. It's just like something I've always had. But I think I've really honed in on my skills in the last year.
Yeah.
Mainly this year in IMSA, I would say.
How old are you now?
21.
You first started racing when you were 16?
Yeah.
Is that right?
And go-karts.
Way back when you were 16?
Yeah.
Larry.
Yeah, it was.
Larry, you've got underwear older than that.
Yeah, well,
No, you got driving suits older than that.
I got socks older than that. But she waited pretty late, She waited till she was 16 to decide she wanted to race. her and her younger sister, they had go-karts when they were little, and they really weren't interested in them, but I never really pushed it. And then when she was 16, she wanted to race, and we were just going to race go-karts together and have fun. And, 5 years later, we're racing in the biggest endurance series in the world together. So it's pretty quick progression for her. And that's one of the things that we have been fighting, but it's that mountain's getting smaller is the experience. You can't make up for experience. You can't speed it up. She has a lot of natural ability. Like she said, she's got a really good feel for the car. She's got a really good feel on used tires, which is really hard. You can't really teach that, but she has it. But it's just the experience. It's the little things that sometimes I even overlook, because I've been doing it for so long. I know, hey, when you do this, this is going to happen. And she has to still experience that to know, what that is. And I try to speed that up by giving her things, but it's just like anything. You can learn to dribble a basketball and shoot it really well, but as soon as there's 4 other guys on the court trying to take it from you, it changes everything. And it's the same thing. She can learn how to drive and she can do everything, but then she's got to get a hit in the heat of a race, and that the only way you can get experience for that is to be racing. So she continues to impress everybody, and including myself, but it's experience right now.
Absolutely. Hey, Rod, by the way, at 16, what clicked?
I don't know. I played soccer from when I was 3 till I was 16, and I played high school soccer on my boys varsity team because we didn't have a girls team, and just kind of fell out of love with that sport and needed to go another direction with my life at that point. I was getting ready to finish high school, and
Well, what high school?
Granville Christian.
Granville Christian? Okay, go ahead.
And I just thought it would be fun to go do some go-kart races like we did when I was younger.
Did you find, though, that you had that feel? I mean, right from the get-go? I mean, some people do and some people don't, I remember Jeff Gordon when he was 16, he was like, what are you doing?
It feels like forever ago. I can't even remember. I just remember going out, being super nervous. I used to have really, really bad anxiety with stuff like that, social anxiety, and I remember going out and being super nervous, and then after my first race I was just hooked and I wanted to do it again and again. And
and was it, I want to get to this because we'll talk to Larry a little bit more why he still gets on two-wheel vehicles. Is that what you call it? Do you call a motorcycle a vehicle?
I don't know.
It's a conveyance.
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah. But what did you find you weren't intimidated by cornering speed, by things like that, by seeing a corner come up fast? And you're understand what I'm saying. When did you know you just felt comfortable about it? I mean, comfortable is okay, meaning you don't take it for granted.
Yeah, I think I've always felt comfortable at speed. I don't think I was ever very uncomfortable. Maybe the first time I'd move up in something, and it would be a faster car, or go-kart or whatever, I'd be like, okay. But then I would just want to always be.
By that I mean you mean faster through the corners, right? I mean that's where speed really shows up, right? Yeah. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry. You mean I want people.
You know what? We should turn around so we don't have a dirty tractor.
Well, it'd be all right. But that just shows y'all are working people. Working people. I do like that, by the way. But no, you just found that it was okay, right?
Yeah, I don't think I was ever really intimidated by speed. More the close racing with people, I think, is something that's scarier. But once you get over that part and that's comfortable, I don't think any of it's difficult other than the mental against yourself kind of.
Is it fun getting up behind somebody and kind of feeling them out? What's this person all about? Finding their weakness and going for it. Is that's the dynamic that's going on now mentally all the time, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that in sports car racing, especially when you're racing with the same people all year long. You start to learn the drivers and you start to learn how they drive, and you start to give back what they give to you a little bit. It's a very mental game for sure.
Yeah,
especially in endurance racing.
I've always described it as a 4-dimensional deal because you got the 3 dimensions and then you got the 4th, which is the other driver. A lot of people can go out and qualify like we were talking about, but there are a lot of people that can play, like you were talking about earlier, Larry, with
right. Yeah, that's the experience. That's the experience thing. And then, like she said, learning. Hey, this particular person is always does this. This person is unpredictable.
Yeah.
This person is. I know what they're going to do, and I know. I mean, you start to learn them. That's part of being a good racer. You know, and she's starting to do that, and also trying to check your emotions at the door too. This guy. You don't like them, but you don't want to drive them different because you don't like somebody than somebody you do.
Or same thing with a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start to get friends in the paddock, and you have to realize you can't be nice to people
Right.
just because your friends off track.
Yeah,
On track.
yeah, you got to
Everyone's the
treat
same.
everybody kind of the same. That's car number, whatever, and drive them. And like I've told her, you can't be friends, and you don't want to be too mad because it'll change you. But you also have to know that driver. Hey, I know this guy always fades on this corner, so that you drive him that way, but not try to remove the emotion and do it by the numbers, so to speak.
So explain to me how this is going to work this weekend. I mean, what kind of race y'all both drive the car?
Yeah, so
Do you have another driver too?
yeah, well, we do this weekend. So most of our races are 2 hours. The
Yeah.
Daytona race and the Mid-Ohio race are 4 hours. So on a 4-hour race, you can have up to 3 drivers. You're required to have 2 drivers, obviously, on the 2-hour ones.
Yeah.
And so what we do on this one, when I got hurt at the beginning of the year, I couldn't race Daytona. She drove with Mario Farnbacher, who's the factory HRC driver from Germany, and he came in and they almost won the race. So we said, hey, when we do the 4-hour race at Mid-Ohio, even if I'm back, we're going to bring Mario back in. So he's back with us this weekend. So all 3 of us will be driving, and
for some redemption from Mario.
yes, yeah, we got to get him back because we should have won that race, but we had a pit stop where we got a penalty because somebody left the wheel unattended, and so we got a penalty, and that's why they didn't. So we're looking forward to a good finish this weekend.
Officious. You got to watch for the officious
Yes.
along with the competitors.
And in endurance racing, probably it's similar. Let's say maybe to like NASCAR because that's kind of endurance too.
Yes.
There's several hundred miles. Our stuff is always pit road is as important or more important sometimes, obviously, than on the racetrack. You don't want to make no mistakes, but you got to stay on the lead lap and give yourself a chance at the end. And sometimes, like at Laguna 2, we had a pit lane violation. So those things can ruin your race in a second.
And you don't keep a full-time pit crew around during the week, right?
No, I mean we don't have the budgets or the team for that. We have a full-time guy that works on the cars. But then on the weekends, we grow to 8 or 9 people total. So it's guys that are doing it on the weekends. Yeah, they're getting paid to do it, but they're doing it because they love it. So usually there's a passion there and everything else. But hey, take something you do every day and now say do it under high pressure and you got to do it in 20 seconds.
That's what I'm talking about. The well-greased aspect
Yeah.
of it isn't always there.
Yeah,
and stuff,
you
even
see
though they're
that-
trying hard. Yeah.
The NASCAR teams or the Formula One teams or even maybe some of the IndyCar teams, they have a full-time crew and those guys are working out every day. All they do is change tires every day. So you got to look at it from both sides. But we have a really good group of guys. We just had a mistake at Daytona.
Gotcha. Hey, Riley, real quick, how far you want to go in this thing? I don't mean from here to Mid-Ohio. I mean,
Yeah. The overall,
do you have that itch, I guess?
Yeah, the overall goal for me is to take over Pegram Racing as my own team. That's he doesn't want to run a team anymore. He's already sick of it. So hopefully within the next few years, Pegram Racing will be completely mine. Like as of right now, I would say I'm probably like team manager. He's team owner. Hopefully eventually be team owner. And then the goal is to be in GTD in the next couple years, which is the step up from Michelin pilot, and then hopefully have a full factory team in the WeatherTech paddock. And then personally for me driving, I'll take any ride there is. So I mean, sky's the limit.
Yeah, have helmet, wheel drive.
Yeah. So yeah, she continues to improve so quickly. She's at the level now. One of the things in our class in the Michelin Pilot Challenge in the TCR class, which is what ours is, the level is so close. There's several teams that even have pro drivers is what they call it. So both drivers are paid pro drivers. So from first to last in our class is like a 2-second gap, which is by far the tightest of any class out there, So the level of drivers in our class, even though we're not in the top class of the series, the level of competitiveness, I think, is probably one of the hardest ones.
Hey, is it cool that Honda, I mean, obviously, automakers get involved in auto racing because they want to sell cars eventually. They want to test equipment and things like that. But how cool is it to have that venue, that avenue? You understand?
Well, what's cool
that someone's
about
willing.
Us is in this, the car's kind of in a retro scheme, a little bit HRC colors, which is what our contract is with HRC, which is Honda Racing Company.
Yeah.
But and that's what I used to race for them. I had an HRC contract back in 2005 and 6, and even all as far back as 1994.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool that way. But the other thing is, Honda being in Marysville, a lot of the employees there, but the Honda guys this year have been just outstanding with the support for us in the series, and the engineers and the people at the track and everybody from HRC. So that part has been really.
How much are they allowed to be involved? Are they? Is it?
They're heavily involved. Yeah, like all the manufacturers. Well, I wouldn't say all the manufacturers. I'd say some of the other ones in our class don't. Hyundai has a big factory involvement too. I would say Hyundai and Honda, and so it's a battle. They want to win as manufacturers. We want to win as drivers and as teams. So it's the nice thing is, like for Honda, they have a GTP team out there with Shank's team.
Yeah.
So they're kind of already there, and they bring guys that are just for our class and guys that are for that class, and it's pretty neat how technical it gets.
Shank's just right down the road. Do y'all ever?
Yeah. I've known Michael for a long time, and we talk a lot. We do a little bit. The guys that wrap his cars wrap ours, and they do a little bit of stuff for us. There's been times when they were testing somewhere and Honda said, "Hey, take this part home with you so we don't have to ship it to, and stuff like that." So there's a little bit, but mainly we're just good friends.
Is it cool? Like, I'm just rolling into that, but is it cool? He's now won 2 Indianapolis 500s and what,
it's really
3 Daytona? Is it 2 or 3 Daytona 24 hours? I mean,
he's definitely,
that's a hell of a team when you think about it.
Yeah, they do a heck of a job over there, and his shop is so nice. And, they do it. I mean, they're one of the top teams in the world, not just in the United States. So he's done a great job of getting that done, and he's had a long partnership with Honda as well. So it's cool that we're both, kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, last thing, Riley. I mean, do you feel like we were just talking about all this and Honda? Do you feel a little bit of pressure to deliver? I mean, and does that enhance? Deliver results? Does that enhance sort of the experience?
Yeah, it adds a little bit of pressure, I would say, especially for how quickly we've moved up and to already be working with a manufacturer, and for them to want results as much as we do, it definitely puts a little bit of pressure on me. But I don't know. I put a lot of pressure on myself no matter what, so I think it's just a good time.
At the end of the day, you want to win, no matter who's
I want to
who's
win
behind you or who's on your car or whatever, right? Yeah. Hey, Larry, last thing. So we know about your exploits as an incredible two-wheeler. Is that how would I call that? I mean, I always thought you guys were nuts. I don't know if I ever conveyed that to you.
People do. Yeah.
I mean, when you're out there laying down and your elbows touching the ground, oh, that's perfect. No, not for me. But I mean, how are you helping Riley in terms of dealing with that pressure, that the pressure to produce, but also not overdrive, things like that? It's is it a constant conversation?
It is, and it's sometimes I try to help her and go think about things this way or do this way, but then there's times when I say, "Hey, this is where we're at. Dig.
Yeah,
it's time to dig. This is the time where being comfortable has to go out the window. Do you go out and crash a car? No, but do you get yourself a little uncomfortable? Yeah, now's the time to go past that point where everything feels rosy and get." It's always you push to here, then that gets comfortable, then you push to here, then that gets comfortable. And she's been progressing every year. We've been racing for 5 years. We've been in a car basically for 3 now. And each year she moves here, and she doesn't see it every weekend. She wants that there. And I said, look where you were last year to this year.
Yeah.
Look where you were last year to this year. Every year, and I said, by next year, you're going to be pretty much where you probably thought you could be. And then you're at the top level with another 20 guys, and then how do you go to where those last 3 guys can get? That's the point where I can get her to here and teach her everything here, and I can give her the mental process to get to here, but I can't teach that last bit. That's either you got it or you don't.
Yes.
And so that's where she's getting closely approaching. Here's what everybody, we get data and we overlay data with other drivers, same car, everything. And so this guy's going to here and he's braking, he's doing this corner at this speed. And so the car will do it.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden she's trying to get to be able to do exactly what the other pro drivers are doing. And my question always is, once you get to that point, how do you do what they can't?
Yeah.
That's what separates the really good racers.
You're always chasing a half second.
Oh,
that next half second. Right?
Yeah.
and you know where it was. You know where it was. The previous lap, you know where you could have gotten that half second.
Yep.
Now you get back there and keep everything else. Hey, last thing for you. I remember Steve Horn at Tasman. I can't remember the motorcycle racer. He was dating a TV star, but he drove in their Indy Lights series a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember this guy's name. Saved my life.
Eddie Lawson.
Yes,
I
Eddie
knew who
Lawson.
it was.
He was fairly good.
He was really good. Yeah.
So for you personally, how big a conversion has it been to race four-wheel? And you might have been doing this all
I mean,
along.
I was close right away. It's that last little bit that's the part. And, these things being front wheel drive, there's a different technique to driving them for sure.
Yeah.
And so, that's like she said last year, I would now be as fast as you are. But you've gotten faster. I said, yeah, I'm starting to learn how to do this. So, I would say I'm really close. And now that last race, she was 0.3 of a second slower than my best lap. So it's like and then we race shifter carts too, and she's faster than me in the shifter cart now. So I can't beat her in the shifter anymore, which making me feel old.
Hey, what goes away? What do you what?
I don't know. I mean, some of what goes
I mean,
away.
we're talking about this,
Yeah, I haven't felt a lot of what that's going away. Some of the physical stuff, I don't train as hard, so I'll get tired at the end of them.
Yeah.
But mainly because I'm not training quite as hard. I still train, but I think what goes away is, I wouldn't say desire, because I still want to be out there, but am I going to go around you on the outside in the last corner with a 50% chance of making it to get fifth?
Yeah.
I used to. Wouldn't even think about it. Now, if it was for the win, I'd probably still go around you on the outside with a 50% chance of making it. But now I would say, no, sixth is okay. So I think that's the difference. A little bit of just, this is good enough. And when you're younger and you're racing, nothing but winning's good enough.
Yeah. But you were just on the Superbike this past weekend at Road America, 4-mile racetrack, et cetera. I'm not saying you're doing it for fun, but you end up third in the race. I mean, does that rekindle?
Well, you can't turn that part off.
Yeah.
If there's an opportunity, you're going to take it. It's just how small the opportunity becomes, how much risk, risk versus reward. And I would say that the reward has to be much bigger for the risk as you get older. That's what I would say.
Last thing, Riley, what do you know about your dad? What is that spark in him that you've noticed growing up with him that makes him different? Meaning he wants to get on a motorcycle and go as fast as he can and around current turns, et cetera. He's now doing it with you in a race car. What is it different about your dad?
There's just nobody like Larry Pegram. Unfortunately, sometimes he's just on another level mentally, and I don't even understand where he's at, and I just let him do what he wants. I don't have a say in it, so just let him have fun.
Yeah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree either, right?
Yeah, you're right. She's quick. So
What, podcast or YouTube business?
It's a reality show that kind of follows us around on the weekends, and it basically it's a racing show, but it's more about a father-daughter relationship. Yeah. So it's called Like Father, Like Daughter. It's going to be on IMSA's YouTube channel, and it's going to be on HRC's YouTube channel, Honda's corporate YouTube channel. So you could go to YouTube and type in Like Father, Like Daughter. I think it's supposed to be today that it's coming out, so it hasn't hit yet. Or you can go to IMSA's YouTube channel, IMSA's YouTube channel, and it'll be on there.
What's it like having someone follow you around, I guess, on race weekends 24/7 or whatever, the good, the bad, and the ugly? What's that like?
For me, I don't pay attention to them. I don't know.
We had a show when we were, when was that?
2011, 12, when I did Superbikes. We had a show called Superbike Family, so we kind of got used to it. She was little.
Yeah, I was little. I'm just used to the cameras being on at all times, and it's definitely caught some moments already where it's like, all right, I guess the world's gonna see what we really act like to each other.
Yeah, because there's times when we argue and we get mad at each other and stuff. I mean, that's part of the aspect of it is this show's about every father who has a teenage daughter and they're trying to connect. Yeah. I mean, that's what this is all about. We do the reason I love racing this car with her is because it's a connection that we never had before this.
Yeah.
Tell you what, totally enjoyed that. I've got more stuff to watch on YouTube. My life wasn't full enough with all the golf videos I watch, and that one of my favorite things watching on YouTube right now is this guy and his family go out and rescue cars that have gone over cliffs, and I think it's Matt's Garage or something like that, or Matt's Off-Road Rescue. But there's just all kinds of curious things you can watch anymore on YouTube that you never even knew people really did. But this is cool. I mean, a father and daughter racing the same race car. Wow, what bonding that must bring. I mean, in good and bad, if you follow my drift. I didn't do that. Yeah, you did. Well, but anyway, but bam, really appreciate Larry Pegram and Riley Pegram giving me the chance to come out to their garage and check on things. I think I might have been wrong. I don't think the GTPs are racing this weekend at Mid-Ohio, but definitely these guys are, and they're it's a 4-hour enduro if I'm not mistaken, and it'll be fun to watch because you have 3 drivers kind of sharing the ride, so to speak, one at a time, which means pit stops, which means people getting out of a car, people getting into a car, tires being changed, etc. Those kind of things. If you're a racing aficionado, they're really fun to watch. And this little car, like I said, they're driving is trick. As I was on the way out the door, they had just gotten delivery of a part that Honda had sent them via the Mike Shank Racing Garage. I think I have the scenario correct there, but it's they had torn up, I think, the back diffuser that goes on the bottom of the car. In essence, it enhances your downforce. I didn't even know a little trick car like this had, little tunnels that enhance your downforce. And boy, as Larry said, boy, when they're missing. And I guess they had broken one in their previous outing, and this thing showed up just in time. But these things are triggers. The thing was made out of carbon fiber. That little race car they're going to drive, it's not for the faint of heart. It gets up and goes, and it has a great top speed. But boy, does it corner extremely well. So that means you're going through the corners very fast. So I give it up to Riley for coming on in that regard. Like her dad said, she's right up there knocking on the door of being a big time driver. And we'll see if she can get to the elite level. I think she has the makings for it. She's very laid back, clearly has learned a lot of things about racing, not just auto racing, but racing from her dad, who did it on 2 wheels and made it look easy. So kudos to this team, and kudos to them for letting me spend a little bit of time with them. So until next time, for my good buddy Clay Hall, who exited stage right, until next time, we will see you then.